So in this class, we learn how can we make use of the JDBC with our web applications. Here, the web application can contain Servlet and JSP as per your requirement. So what we'll be doing is we'll be like creating a register and login application here. So first of all, like if a user will be a new one, so the user will be redirected to a registration page where user can provide their information their username, ID, password, and several other things. All right. So once like user will click on the register button, the information will be stored in our database that we are going to use here for MySQL. Uh, so once he has been registered, so now later on, like if the same user want to log in, so they can came here to the website and can enter their user ID and password. And in that case, as soon as like user will click on the login button, so we'll check the information like whether the user ID password provided by the user are correct or not, depending upon like what information we have in our database. If they will be the correct information, then we will redirect user to the home page. Otherwise, like we can show the user an error message like you have entered the wrong user ID and password, and we can redirect him to the on the login form again. Okay. So here we are going to use the MySQL RDBMS. So first of all, like these are the things required to be done. So we'll be creating a database. Within database, we'll be creating what? A table. The table will be having the four fields: the name, password, email, and mobile. That means like in the registration form, we'll be asking the user these things: name, password, email, and mobile. All right. So first of all, let's do the this thing that we require at the back end. So here I'm having the MySQL in my Jamf server. So let me open the control panel of the Jamf here. Oh. And here from the control panel, we have to start the Apache server and MySQL. All right. So you can click over the admin to go to the GUI of your MySQL, where like you'll be able to easily create the database and the tables. So originally, actually, the Jamf server is being used for the PHP applications, but because you can see here, like it has an inbuilt MySQL here. So like I was using it, that is why like I'm using the MySQL from here itself. So if you want, like you can download the MySQL server separately and can use it from there also. Otherwise, you can download the gem. All right, and once you downloaded it, okay, open the control panel from the location where you have installed it, and start the MySQL. All right, so here you can see here we have an option of creating a new database. So click over the new. Uh, okay, the database name. And let's say the database name is what? My database, I think we already have the name here. My database, so two. Just click over the create to create this database. All right, so you can see here in the list, the database has been created. Now what you have to do is you have to create the table with it. So click over your database and you can see like it will be asking you create a table. So it is asking the name of the table. The name of the table will be what is the user info. And it is also asking like how many columns you are required. So you can see here we are required the four columns there. So just specify what four there. Okay, and then click over go. Now it will ask you what the name of the columns and their data types. So the first column that we are going to have there will be what? Name. So it will be having the varchar data type here, and let's say the maximum length will be 100. I think it will be more than enough there. All right, the next one we have the password, email, and mobile. So this will be our password, and let's say the password is also of varchar type, and let's say 100. Next thing was what? Email or mobile. Okay, the next one is email. Again, you can say what? Varchar, and let's say 100. And finally, mobile number. So you can have, let's say here we have the integer data type. All right, just click over the save button. Oh, so you can see here in the left hand side in the my database 2, the user info table has been created. And now you can see it is an empty table. You can see like there are no data available for now. Okay, so the table has been created. So now let's move toward the Java code. So let me open the Eclipse. So here what we'll be doing on our default page, that is going to be what the index.jsp or index.html, whatever you like. So we'll be creating a login form. All right, you can see. And let's suppose user is a new one, we can ask him, okay, if the user is a new one, so we'll be providing in a hyperlink here. You can see like we have provided a hyperlink. And here like whenever user will click on this hyperlink, the name of the hyperlink is what register here. So the user will be redirected to a page name what register.html. And here like user will be able to register their self. So here we'll be asking what their name, password, email, and mobile number. And as the user will be clicking on the submit button, we'll try to store the information in the database in that case. All right, let me check. It will open now. Okay, so let the Eclipse also start. It will be taking some time to load it. Okay, so first of all, let me close the open project. It will be taking some time to load. Okay, so now let's try to create a new project here. Go to File, New, Dynamic Web Project, and name it whatever you like. Let's say JDBC Web Login. We go next, generate the web.xml. We may require it later. Just finish it. Okay, so here is your project. First of all, create your default page. That is going to be the index.html here or JSP. Name, let's create an HTML page. The name will be index.html. Here, finish it. And here define a form that will be asking what the username and password. So let me copy this from here. It is going to be a basic form here. All right. So what we are having here, you can see we have defined a form with the method get, but like remember it whenever like you are submitting some confidential information like password, you should not use the get method. You should use the post method. As we know, like in case of get, the data will be embedded in the URL in the form of query string and it will be visible to everyone. So in such a case, the post method is recommended. But like here we have it in for the demo, so we are using the get. But if you would like, you can change it. And the action is login check. That means what, like when we try to submit the form, it will be submitted here onto the login check servlet. That will be created data. And here we are asking what the email ID and the password. Look here, we have taken the email ID in place of the user. Why? Because we know like the email ID will be the unique for every user. All right. So like if we will not take the unique thing here, it will create the problem while executing the SQL queries. Okay, we'll discuss that later when we'll be like implementing the logic there. So here like we'll be asking the email and the password to the user, and when they will be click on the login button, here it is going to submit it where to the login check server. But before that, you can see we also define a hyperlink here, and that is asking the user to register. Like if a user is a new. And in that case, the user will be directed to a page name of register.html. Okay, so before creating the login check servlet, let's create a register.html page. So right click on your project, go to new, select the HTML file and name it what register.html. And here again, you have to create a form. The form that asks the user about like the username, email, mobile number, etc. Like whatever the information required to be stored in the database. All right, so let me directly copy paste it. Okay, so here is the form. All right. So what we are having here again, yeah, here the method we have used the post. Okay, that is the correct one. And when we'll try to submit this form, it will take the user to a what can we say servlet name register info. And here we are asking user the name in the text box T1, password in the text box T2, email ID in the text box T3, and mobile number in the text box T4. All right. So as soon as like the user will click on this register button, the form will be submitted where to the register info servlet. So let's first create this one. So expand the Java resource and right click on the click over the SRC, go to new and create a package first. Name it whatever you like. Let's say serve. Okay, and now right click over that serve package and add a servlet. Select the servlet from here and name it what register info. So it will be having the same URL mapping as the name of the class register info. This finished it. And you can see here, while submitting the form, we have defined what the post method. So here in the servlet, what method will be executed? Do post. So here you are supposed to write the code within the do post. And what actually we'll be doing here, first of all, we'll try to fetch the value of these text box T1, T2, T3, and T4. And after that, after getting these values, we'll try to store them where in the database. Like we have already created a database on an empty table, and within that table, we'll try to put the entries in the database from here. All right. So let me put the try catch here. Okay. And here, what can we do is, okay, let me copy paste the code, otherwise it will take time. I will tell you about it. Yeah, it is the register. Let me first copy paste it. I will describe it. Hmm. All right. What we have left here. Okay. So let me import the required things. The print writing from the IO package. And you can see like here because we need to put the data into the database, so we have to do all the things that we have done in case of console applications to connect to make a connection within a database, and then after that we can execute the queries. So you can see here what we have done. Okay, all right. So first of all, we have created a print writer object, and after that you can see like okay, here we are also having the date of birth, but you can see here in the registration form I don't have the date of birth. So let me remove the T5. So we have only T1, T2, T3, and T4 text box there where we are asking about name, password,
Bro, voice is
email.
breaking.
I think it should be clear. Okay, so here we are asking about T1, T2, T3, and T4. The values are what? The name, password, mobile number, and email. All right. So here what we want is we want to put the values in the database. So we have to first of all to do what? We have to make the connection with the database. So we have to follow all the teacher. Let's to change type of mobile. Okay, yeah. The problem is here. Okay, that is required of an integer type. All right. So here in case of set string, we have to call what? Set int. Okay, so this is required to be put here. And because like we have not imported the SQL package, the SQL package is also required to be imported. And from the SQL, let's import the required thing only, the connection. Okay, the driver manager connection. I think they have imported the connection from somewhere else in place. So yeah, the prepared statement, the connection has been imported from somewhere else, but not from the SQL package. Okay, so these are the wrong one here. So let me directly import the entire SQL package, java.sql.star, and it will work. Okay, so all the errors have been resolved. Okay, the request dispatcher is still required. All right. So what we are doing here, we have set the values and finally we have execute the update. Okay, and it will return a value, and we know like if the data will be inserted successfully, we'll be getting a value 1 here, the number of rows affected. And we can say like if val doesn't equals to 0, that means what? That means the registered successful, means the user has been registered successfully. So we can show the user a message like you have been registered successfully, and below that we can again show the user the index.html page. That is going to be what? That is going to be our login page, and here like user can log in now. All right, so this is what we are doing here in the registration form. Okay. So once the registration is being completed, now user will be able to log in. So let's move toward the login page. And here like they will enter their email and the password. And then when they will click on the login button, they will be redirected where to the login check page. Here we'll try to check the email and the password and we'll verify it from the database. If they will be matching, okay, only then like we will send the user home page. Otherwise, like we can show the user an error message like either the user ID password are wrong. Okay, so right click on your serve and create a new servlet, name login check. Okay, keep the URL mapping same as your class name. And here because in the index.html I have used the HTTP get method. You can see here, but it is recommended to use the post. So here in the login check, we have to write the code within total. All right. So we'll be doing the same thing. Like first of all, we try to access the value of T1 and T2. The T1 and T2 are what? The text box where we have asked the value of email and the password. And after getting them, we'll also try to get the value of the password from the database. And now what we'll be doing is we'll try to match the database entered by the user in this text box and the database that already been stored in the database. If these two database will be if these two passwords will be matched, okay, only then we'll consider the user as a valid. Okay, so this is what we'll try to do. So to get the password from the database, what we require to do? We require to execute a select query. All right, so like we can say like the select password from the table name, what is there? The user info, where email equals to like whatever will be the value of email. Okay, so in that way we'll be getting the password of that corresponding user. All right, so let me directly copy paste the code. Hmm. Okay, we have closed the cache. Okay, import the SQL package. Java.sql star import java.io. All right. So you can see, first of all, we are getting the value of T1, T2 text box in the variable name what? Email and password. Okay. Then we have made the connection after loading the driver. Okay. The database name is what? My database 2. Okay. So here the query is what? Select star from user info where email equals to question mark. Or like if you want, in place of star, you can directly get the password because the password is the only thing that I want to get here. But if you want, you can get it later on also. So that's up to you. So here like we are getting all the information of a user whose email ID will be this one. And this question mark will be replaced by what? By this email address that has been entered by the user. Okay, so we can say like the ps.set string. Okay, the first is the position of this question mark that is to be replaced by what? Email. And we have executed the query. We got the result in the result set. And as we know, like from the result set, I can get what? I can get whatever the value I want. So here you can see in the table, there is a table. Here it is. So you can see the password is the second column there. All right. So what can I do is I can say like rs.getString 2. 2 is the what? The column number there. So in that case, it will like get the value of the password, whatever we are having there with corresponding to the email address that has been entered by the user here. All right. And we have stored it in a variable name db password. And that I think we should have declared somewhere where it has been declared. Yeah. So here you can see it has been declared here. Initially it has been set to null, but now you can see here it will be having some value there, the password value that has been entered in the at the time of registration by the user. Okay. So here what we'll be doing is you can see we got the password from the database as well we got the password from the login form. So what we have to do is we have to match these two passwords. So we can say like the password equals db pass. So if this condition will be successful, then what can we do is we can send the user to the home page. All right, so we can create a home.jsp page here. Oh, otherwise, what can we say is like ROM, username or password. And finally, we can show the user the index.html page. That is going to be what? That is going to be the login page of yours. Okay. So this is what we are going to do here. So only one thing is remaining. That is what? Like you also have to create what? Home.jsp page. So right click on your project, go to new, select the JSP file, and let's say it is the home.jsp. And here let me add a very simple thing. Let me add a heading only with the message what? Welcome. You can design it according to your requirement. Okay, so we are done with the code, and as we already know, like one of the things that is required to be done in case of the JDBC is what? You need to add the jar file. Okay, and so far in case of console applications, like we can add it from anywhere. Like it can be available at my desktop. So it can be available at my desktop. Alright, and from there I can include it in my project. So here the path I can give of what? Of the desktop, or like I can give the path from anywhere, like wherever my jar file will be available. But in case of the web applications, the jar file is required to be put inside your server. Okay, so as you know, like we are going to run it where? On the Apache server. So go to the location where you have installed your Apache. Okay. Uh, in my case, it will be somewhere in here. Okay, here you can see in the program file, I am having a folder name Apache Software Foundation. Open it, or you can see here it has the version that I have installed. And here you can see you have a bin folder. Alright, so what you have to do is, you have to put that jar file here. I think I should already be having that file here. Okay, it is not here for now. What was the name of the file? I forgot that. I think I must be having that on the desktop. Heritage. It should be here in my desktop. Heritage. Okay. Let me try to browse the location. I think we got it from there. So go to the build path. Okay. Add external jars. Am I having that in the desktop? Yeah, here it is. MySQL connector. Okay, this is the name. It should be there on my desktop. There it is. Yeah, here it is. MySQL connector. Okay. So this file now required to be put inside the Apache. Okay. Yeah. So here it will be required to be put in the lib folder, not in the bin folder. Sorry for that. So here you can see I have already put it in the lib folder, and there while adding the external jar, you have to add it from this location only, from this lib folder that is available within the Apache. Okay, so you can't now add it from the desktop or from some other folder. Okay, so this is the thing that you should know here. So again, right click over it, go to build path, configure build path, and click over add external jars. So now you have to move to the location where you have the Apache installed. And here within the lib folder, I already have it. Yeah, MySQL connector. Okay, and click over apply image. All right, so now let's try to run the project. Right click on your project, run as, run on server. Okay, it will be taking a while to start the server. All right. So you can see here it is asking us for the email and the password because we are a new user here. So first of all, we want to register. So first of all, click over this register button, and you can see here the register.html page has been opened where you can enter your name, password, email, and mobile. All right. So let's say the name is admin, and let's say the password is 123, and let's say the email ID is admin@gmail.com. And let's say the mobile number is 1234. All right, so click over the register button. So you can see here you got a message like registered successfully, and after that you got the email. This is what we have written where in the register info servlet. All right. So after that, let me put the email. And before moving here, you can verify like whether actually the entry has been stored in the table or not. So go to the database and try to refresh your table. And you can see now it has one entry admin123 admin@gmail.com and 1234 is the mobile number. All right. So now let me try to log in. So pass here the email that is what admin@gmail.com. The password is what 123. Oh, one more thing that I told you like here. The first thing you should always ask a thing that should be unique for each user. And what is the reason behind this is you can see here when we have written the login check, what actually we are doing is we are writing a query like select star from user info where email equals to question mark. So let's suppose in place of email, like we are asking for username. So you can see there like we can have the several user with a particular name. Like let's suppose the admin. So several users can have the admin name. So in that case, what will happen? So, like when we'll be writing a select start from user info where name equals to admin. Let's suppose there are the four records who are having the name what admin. So in that case, we'll be getting the four rows. And when we'll try to access the password, so here will be confused like from all of these four persons, which one password we are required here. All right. So like in that case, like we are not going to get the correct password here. All right. So to remove such problem, what we should be doing here, like we should pass a value that should be unique for every user. Like you can here can ask the email, or in place of email, you can also ask the mobile number. You can see like today all the modern applications are being written in a such a way, like or either they require a unique username for everyone, or like they will be asking for your email ID or the mobile number, so that like here while fetching the data from the database, they should not face this problem. All right, otherwise you can see here like we'll be getting the multiple record, and will not be able to identify like which user password we are required. All right, so that is why here in the login we have asked the email, or in place of email we can also ask for mobile number, because no we know like the mobile number will also be unique for every user. Okay, so just click over the login, and you can see here in the login check it has like executed all of these code. Okay, and when everything goes fine, this becomes true, so it has redirected where to the home.jsp, and you can see here we are getting the output from where, from the home right now. All right. So I hope all of you are getting this. Okay. So that's all about like how can we create what register and login app using Servlet and JSP here in case of Java. Okay.